Namaste, viewers. Today's series, rather episode, is more dynamic and young because the person who is going to be with me today is a person with multi-talent and multitasking also. For environmentalist, she is ABVP Karyakarta, she is software engineer and also a youngest censor board member. So all this and how the family upbringing and the right direction helps the person to grow in the right direction with lot of success without getting distracted is what something we will come to know. So let me formally welcome Miss Harini Rayasam to do our program. So Suswagatamma.
Thank you so much, Ketkichi. It is glad to be a part of this program, especially on the auspicious occasion of Dasara. I pray Ma Durga to bless all of us with immense and good health and peace. And
Yes.
also kudos to you because you have taken a wonderful initiative so that this will help many other women out there so that for them, it would definitely encourage them to climb up the ladder.
Yes, and I'm really glad to have you here. As you say, first of all, the time is really auspicious and a lot of energy. So it's good to have a young person with full of energy and talking about many subjects which are as positive as the environment. So, Harini ji, first come first. First of all, let me know what is your origin one and how was the childhood.
So I'm basically from Ballari.
Mhm.
So I was born and brought up in Ballari, and I studied everything. My upbringing was completely in Ballari until I finished my engineering.
Bellary in Karnataka.
Yes, Ballari in Karnataka.
Yes.
Okay. And I finished my schooling, college, everything over there. And during my engineering, I was campus selected to TCS. Then I joined the IT firm, and I'm working there.
During the college days, you were active in many social forums as well. And you know what? Generally, I hear that when person is doing a professional study like medicine or engineering, they say we are very very busy in studies. We do not have time for anything.
Correct.
And under the name of studies, they run away from everything rather and get attracted to things which are not correct. So you tell me, I think your journey is really marvelous and exciting. How did the ABVP happen?
When I was in my first PUC, there was a state level conference of ABVP, which was held in Ballari, in my hometown. So then they requested me to volunteer to that state level conference. So I just went for volunteering it, and there I got to know that ABVP inculcates patriotism in students. So which I really liked that part in ABVP. So that's why, and apart from that, there are many constructive activities which ABVP does. See, because I am from an engineering background, so I played a major role during the Shrishti program, which ABVP has conducted.
Okay.
And ABVP conducts many constructive activities for students from different branches or fields, I can say. So, for example, if students are from IITs, IIMs, they have a different program in the name of Think India. For students from Ayurvedic background, they have a program in the name of Jignasa. So, for different people for fine arts, they have a Kala Darpana. So, these are the different constructive activities which ABVP conducts. And I was very much attracted to these kind of constructive activities initially. So, slowly down the line, I started understanding the ideology of ABVP. So, which is National Reconstruction. So, Vyakti Nirman se Rashtra Punar Nirman. So which I really like. So once I understood the ideology of ABVP, I was committed to ABVP. So since then, my commitment to ABVP was almost increased by 100 folds, I can say. And also, importantly, there is another one. There is a unique concept in ABVP. which is known as a full-time worker concept.
Yeah.
It is similar to Pracharex in RSS. How Pracharex works for RSS, it is similar to that. So once you finish your education, so once you are done with your student life, you should not just think of your own family or only just about yourself. You need to think about the society around you. So with that intention, they encourage students to work as full-time workers for the sake of society. So this concept I really liked very much. So that is why what I did is, after my education, after my finished my engineering, so 1 year I worked as full-time worker with as a full-time worker in ABVP.
So for those who do not know, ABVP is Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, and which works for the students inculcating or imbibing the patriotism and culture in that young generation. So as Harini said, that she enjoyed, and she also opted for 1 year, they called it a full-time volunteer who would dedicate their time, energy, mind in the betterment or upliftment of the underprivileged society around them. Do you suggest all the youngsters, those who are in that age group, should take up this kind of activities at least for a short period of time?
Definitely. See, here it is not just ABVP is not just for this kind for agitation. See, most what media does is media shows only when ABVP people agitates. They don't show what the other constructive activities which ABVP is doing. They are doing many constructive activities. You learn a lot. See, in ABVP you have a life, you have a stage. It's a very good platform for you. So you will leadership qualities you will learn leadership qualities. So you will know how to interact with people. You will learn how to manage things, how to manage time. You learn everything there. It is like a mini university, I can say. So yes. I request all the youngsters to, especially students who are from the colleges, please make sure that you join ABVP and become a successful individual in life.
Yeah, and I echo the same, and I also want to add that instead of jumping on the conclusions by getting misled from some negative energies around who take pride in saying anti-national things, you better get physically and mentally involved into the activities with such organizations who would show you what is mean by civic sense, what is mean by citizen, and what is mean by human being nature. And it also, as Harini wonderfully explained it, it gives you a complete empowerment. It makes you more confident, and also it opens a lot of doors for you to try your luck if at all you fail in something. So it also teaches you how to handle the failure. You need not take extreme step if you have failed. You have other possibilities. That is something you learn when you see more difficult times and more difficult people around you. Excellent. Just now in the beginning remark, I said you have a NGO, you have ABVP role, you have software profession, and you also have many other social activities. Do you know how to juggle between them, or you just want to say that I am doing it?
No. I really love what I'm doing first.
Wonderful.
And another thing is, a busy person have time for everything.
Yes.
Only then he is busy. And see, when you're passionate about doing something, definitely will make time to do that. And also, if you're determined to reach out your goal, so definitely will make sure that you find a path for it. And especially if I find any blockages, I don't stop there. I'll ensure that I'll break those blockages and move ahead. And also my family has been an immense support for me. Definitely. So without their support, I'm sure that I could have not achieved, or I could not have given so much time for the sake of service.
Definitely. And I think their samskar and encouragement makes a lot of difference in our thinking process, in our behaving process, and also as the wonderful word, which doesn't have a parallel word in English, Vyakti Nirman. So that is what starts within the family. Thanks to the family for upbringing such a wonderful child. Raniji, you know what? There are, as I said just now, especially even today, if you see a lot of social media updates and other platforms, uh, people are misled. Uh, and bunch of anti-national and anti-patriotic people are promoting unnecessary agendas and negativity. How do you think that we should sensitize Bharatiya to protect our Sanatana Dharma? Because I know ABUP works prominently in this sector, and I'm sure you would have got your, um, you know, initial training in this. So, what do you want to say?
See, Sanatana Dharma is immortal and it is eternal, first thing. Uh, to protect Sanatana Dharma, we should start from our houses. We should start it from our home. So, parents should ensure that you teach your children about the ethical values, how a brother have to teach his sister, how you have to respect an individual, how do you respect a woman, how to respect the elders, and how to interact with your neighbors, how to interact with people around
Yeah.
you, how to behave. So everything, all these family values has to be taught at home. So parents should ensure that their children are, you teach these things to your children. And also parents have to ensure that they teach their children about Ramayana,
Mm.
Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Vedas, Upanishads. We have a lot of things in our own culture, so parents should learn these things. Parents should know these things first. Only then they will be able to tell it out to their kids. That is the
True.
first aspect. So second is at the school level. So at the school levels, the schools have to ensure that they encourage Bhagavad Gita
Mm.
competitions. They have to organize plays which is based on Panchatantra stories, Ramayana, Mahabharata, where you have a lot of values. So definitely that will, help the child to have to get lot of morals, to get lot of morals and ethical values, and
Right
they have to
direction, right
ensure
path.
that. Correct.
Yeah.
And they have to, schools have to encourage conducting quiz competition based on our original history, which is real,
Mm. Mm.
and about our culture.
Mm.
So rather than we teaching children about something else,
Mm.
about our invaders
Mm.
or about how
Yeah.
we lost, they have to say take it in a positive stride and encourage all these things.
Yeah, especially
And
not,
third,
sorry, I mean, I just want to add to your point also,
please,
especially
please.
not presenting invaders as heroes. And they are the real warriors, and people who fought for freedom are anti-nationals. That is the history we have learned. Deshadrohi, they were named as, and that's what we also learned as a student. And now we regret that this is not correct. Point is wonderfully noted. However, majority of people take pride in shouting anti-national slogans, acting against the society. And day for yesterday we saw two teachers are murdered in Jammu Kashmir in the name of patriotism. Um, I'm sure you will not have answer to everything, but what is that the youngsters should think over it is what I want to know. So why do you first of all think that people take a shortcut?
Okay. So, answering your question about people take pride in
Hmm.
shouting anti-national slogans, I think it is not that all people take pride in shouting anti-national slogans, but there is a ginger group. There is always a group which is, we had recently, few years back, we heard those anti-national slogans
Yeah.
coming up from the very elite university like JNU,
Yes.
which is really heartbreaking and
Unfortunate,
heart-wrenching.
yes.
Yes. So, these young minds are brainwashed by the left ideology. Okay. So, what does this left ideology say? If the parties with the left ideology, if they have to survive,
Hmm.
they have to survive on, they have to ensure that the people are not developed. They keep the poor people as poor itself. they ensure that they are deprived of their basic facilities. So obviously, when a person is deprived of their basic facilities, they become radically, the mindset will be completely changed. So they indirectly, this will help the left people in the revolution. So that is why what they do is they ensure that the people are deprived of their basic facilities.
That's the reason they find it easy to be anti-national and take a easy path.
Yes. And also I request younger generation that these people have to know what our real history is. Okay, only then we can counter them. Only then we see, once if we know who our home heroes are, there is no need for us to take their ideologies.
True.
I'm always a karyakarta of ABVP. So irrespective of the designations which I held, so it is always, we don't see it as a designation, we call it as a responsibility.
Yes,
in ABVP,
yes.
no?
Daitva.
Daitva, yes. So since from the city level till the state level, not just in Karnataka, but also I have taken many responsibilities in Tamil Nadu as well, because I was working with Tamil Nadu. I was working in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
So then also I have taken many roles in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
And I don't want to highlight any of the roles which I have taken, but I always want to say I will always be a karyakarta.
Definitely. But you know what? How old was you then?
Okay. So in Karnataka ABVP, I spent around 6 years. So from my first PUC till my engineering. So 2 years plus 4 years to complete 6 years. So 1 year I was full-time worker, so I can count it as a 7th year. And 4 years I worked with Tamil Nadu ABVP. So almost 11 years.
Priorities do change, and once again, when you have a time at hand, I'm sure you will get into it once again. But what I want to emphasize through this discussion is it was very young age when you got into it. And for a woman to get into this kind of strong activity at this young age is creditable. And not many people go to this path. And also, as you say, their families do not support them to go through this path. So you have been lucky on both the fronts. And that definitely shows up. Somewhere in between, Samruddhi also happened.
Yes.
So, People Samruddhi is a foundation that is dedicated for the environment enrichment and many other activities. So, please let me know more about Samruddhi Foundation.
Sure. See, in my schooling, I had a poem in which there were lines, which I still remember now.
Okay.
हम न सोचे हमें क्या मिला है, हम यह सोचे किया क्या है अर्पण, फूल खुशियों को बांटे सभी को, सबका जीवन भी बन जाए मधुबन. So we always think of getting from the society rather than giving back to the society. People have, of course, there are many people whose mindset is not in just receiving, but I always wanted to give back to the society. And also I got a group, or I got a team of people who with the same mindset. Then I thought, let me start a foundation so that all the like-minded people will come under one umbrella. And thus I started Samruddhi Foundation.
Okay, so what Samruddhi Foundation is working on environment? Yes,
we work with related to environment. As of now, we have started a plantation activity, especially when you see, I come from, as I said before, I am from Ballari, which is in the Hyderabad, Karnataka region.
Yes.
So in the Hyderabad, Karnataka region, the main complaint of the people is, the temperature is very high. So, let me take only about Ballari instead of, if not the entire Hyderabad Karnataka region. So the main complaint of the people is about the temperature. This is because of the pollution, it might be because of the mining which is happening, because of the industries which are in and around Ballari, like we have Jindal, we have Kirloskar, we have KPTCL, and we have hundreds of mining companies.
Yes.
So due to which the temperature is obviously it increases. So I thought, let me address this issue first. So as in the limited scale which I have, in the limited scope which I have, I thought, let me plant trees. At least this can it will help in carbon sink. So that is with that intention I started. So now we have completed around 106 events of plantation, and nearly more than 10,000 saplings we have planted, and we are ensuring that it is being nurtured, and regularly it is being monitored on a regular basis.
Yeah, I was about to ask that sometimes it's easy to plant, but to maintain it for longer period is definitely a challenge. Beautiful. And I think with collaboration with Adamya Chetna, you have done a few more projects. Am I right?
Until Samruddhi Foundation, we did around 100 plantation events. Only Samruddhi Foundation has did 100 plantation events. So from the 101st event, Adamya Chetna also joined hands with us in the plantation activity. So along with Samruddhi Foundation and Adamya Chetna, both together, we have finished around 6 activities now.
Now that the sudden shift in the weather and the climate conditions we are seeing across the globe is reason because of man-made destroying full-fledged plans to destroy the nature. So what you are doing is definitely important. Is this the only activity you have in mind through Samruddhi, or something else is there?
No, even we have started another event in the name of No Plastic is Fantastic. So we are bringing awareness among people about how to reduce plastic use, and how we can control microplastics, and so that this will and we are giving awareness to people about the global warming and climate change. And of course, I have a few more things in my mind about solid waste management and e-waste management. But as of now, it is still in the planning process.
Okay.
So probably
I'm sure it will definitely come to the stage where we'll talk once again about it. And I think very soon e-waste is going to be the major concern area, because of, and now with the corona, I'm sure e-waste is going to add to the misery. Plastic has been introduced in my life with a lot of gaga. The industry did a job for me, saying that it's durable, it's lightweight, and it's easy to handle because I do not have a worry of breaking it, spoiling it, and also storage is easy and it's affordable. Now you are giving me some ulta gyan. Now how do I deal with it? Because I said, okay, my life is easy now. Suddenly you are saying no plastic. Why should I not use plastic, or is there any kind of a standard that which plastic is good and which plastic is not good?
Yes, the standards has been set by the government. So single-use plastics are something which is dangerous to the nature. So we should ensure that we should stop using single-use plastics, like plastic covers. See, early morning when you go to market, don't take a plastic cover, or take and go a bag with you, a cloth bag with you that can help you. Or instead of asking that sabzi wala
vendor,
to give you a cover, you can take your own cover. And whenever you're going outside, so ensure that you keep a water bottle with you. So see, I always use a steel bottle. So I don't even use a plastic water bottle.
I'm making a statement, you can add to it. Women can play a major role in this, because they are the one who mostly handle kitchen and other things, especially vegetable vendor wala, sabji wala, wherein it becomes convenient for me when I'm coming from office. I just stop over and I purchase something, and I argue with him, not only for bargaining of price but also for the paper cover, the plastic cover, because I want convenience. I'm not carrying my bag. Suddenly, I happen to see a vegetable, and I said I want to purchase it, and then I don't have bags. I asked him to give me plastic bag, and that's how the trouble is
Start.
introduced, and that's how I'm. So women should be more careful, more watchful, because it all starts at home, and when they act on it, the whole family will act on it. There is a acronym called CBFC.
Yes.
What is CBFC for?
CBFC is Central Board for Film Certification.
Hmm.
So CBFC is a board controlled by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. So they censor the movies, or they censor whatever which is exhibited to a larger audience. For example, if you have to show an ad, if the even that ad has to be censored. It is not just the film, the trailer, the teasers, everything has to be censored. So you should see, we know what we should show to the public. You know, they will, based on there is something known as Cinematographic Act. So based on the Cinematographic Act, based on those rules, we will be censoring the movie.
Got it. So censorship is a very popular terminology. We use it in normal life also. Now, I'll come to the crux of the point. Still, why do I see some anti-national content in movies? Why do I still see some negativity in movies? Because, as you say, it sets the stigma, it sets the trend. And as this is never-ending argument that whether the cinema is inspired by society or society is inspired by cinema, it's like a case basis. But being such a beautiful controller, such a powerful controller, rather, why the content is not censored, which really is triggering a lot of negativity.
We will be checking the cinematographic rules, and based on that, we will be censoring it. It is not that, see, according to that, we are not supposed to show a lot of violence, a lot of bloodshed, where woman is being abused, where a child is being abused, or where it is hurting the religious sentiment of the people.
Yes.
And if anything is a threat to the democracy of the country, we are not supposed to show that.
Yes.
So these are the major things. Still, we have many more, but these are the major things which I'm quoting. So the censor certificate validity will be for around 25 years.
Okay.
So only after that it can be recensored.
Oh, okay. I see.
So in that way it is. So, but when you see now, I think the things which are coming into that OTT platform, things which are in OTT platform does not require censor certificate as of now.
Okay.
As of now.
Okay.
So even I have written a letter to the government. Okay, I have provided them my suggestions, my requests to the ministry. Okay, I have sent them numerous mails. And I have requested them to even this happened
OTT platform also.
Yes. And this happened. It is not just now. See, almost since 2 to 3 years, OTT platforms are coming into picture. Even before this, in the year 2018 or 19 itself,
started,
I have said yes. I have requested the government to regularize all these things.
What kind of skills are required? First of all.
So when I was in Chennai, they invited me for a program, and I happened to attend that program. And there I was introduced to few censor board members.
I see.
Okay, and they were all 50 plus. So, and they saw me speaking in different languages. I was able to fluently speak in Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, of course English, and Hindi.
To some extent, Hindi.
Yeah. So when they saw me when they saw when I was able to speak in multiple languages, they were impressed by it, and they were looking at for a young mind. They wanted youngsters, because see, when the movie is released in theaters, hardly people from 60 plus, 70 plus, 80 plus will go to the theaters and watch it.
Yes.
Isn't it? So they wanted a young mind. They wanted how youngsters will think, how youngsters are, taking up that movie, taking up this particular
influenced by the
yes.
Yeah.
So in that way, they found when they found me, they said that they would be nominating, and I thought it will not happen because I was in my early 20s then,
Ah,
and they were all 50 plus. And I, because see, whenever you hear about censor board members, they are all very much seniors to you,
yes.
and you are one of the youngest person. So I didn't think that it would happen.
Okay.
But I thank the government of India and the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting for identifying youngsters and
Yes.
helping to groom them to the next level.
Yes. How many or rather which languages have you handled as of now?
I have censored movies from I have censored Hollywood movies, which will be releasing in India, and I have censored Tamil movies, Telugu movies, Kannada movies.
Okay, wonderful. So how is the procedure, Harini? If let's say a movie is complete and it has come to the censor board, what is the procedure of censor?
I think once the movie is into once they apply for the censorship and once it comes to the censor board, so four of us who are nominated members will be a part of the movie. Only four of them, and one person will be from the government side. Okay, so yeah, so all the five of us together will watch the movie. So you should keep watching the movie on the screen, and you will have a script. They will give you the script of that movie. So you need to go through the script at the same time, and subtitles will be displayed down. So you need to keep checking the subtitles as well.
Okay.
So you have to do all these things simultaneously.
I see.
So when when you do all these things, we are four of us. So it would be after we do all these things, we make out points. We write down which scene, which based on the page number, which scene number.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So after what has to be censored? Suppose if it is a foul language, where a person uses profanity, okay, we should ensure that the profanity is not used.
Yes.
If they are showing something which is not to be shown, we should keep. You can make a note of all those things.
Yes.
After once the movie is completely watched, so we sit together and discuss all those things. After we discuss, we all come to the conclusions, like which has to be removed, which has to be muted, which has to be blurred.
Yes.
So after that, we call the directors and producers. So then we tell them, see, these are the things which has to be which
retain and it has to be removed.
Yes, you have to mute this.
How easy it is to deal with directors and producers?
So this question you should ask them, because it is difficult for them to deal with us.
Okay.
See, if they want the censor certificate, they have to go by the norms. Okay. So here we are not creating a new norms for them, or we are not indulging it on them. But whatever is as far as
defined by the board, that's what we are. Yeah.
Yes. And we are here to abide it.
Definitely. See, now that we have spoken about your journey from the ABVP to the environment related issues, and also now the movie part, there is a buzzword in the society now called secularism, and which is portrayed in a very negative way. First, you tell me, what do you think about the mindset, or rather the thought process called secularism?
See, I am a Hindu. I practice Hinduism. Hinduism is synonym to secularism. Okay. So, because Hindu accepts everything.
Yeah.
Hindu accepts knowledge from every corner.
True.
And see, when Jews and Parsis came to India, it is Hindustanis who has accepted it. Okay. So can you tell me any other country as tolerant as India is? So I don't think you find any other country which is as tolerant as India is. So India is the only is one of the secular nation, and Hindus are seculars, and I am a secular.
We have seen a number of cases across the nation wherein the fake identities and fake promises have put girls in trap, even boys, some cases boys as well. So that is named as love jihad. However, people who have got into that, they have a very valid argument on it, saying that it's all about liking each other. What is your take on this?
See, when you're really loving a person, there is no need for you to like. Why should you fake your identities, first of all? See, why should Rahman become Rahul? Isn't it? Or why should why should you change to a Hindu name and love a Hindu girl, and after getting married or after having a child, why should you force her? Okay, so when you really like her, you have to accept her as she is. That is known as real love, right? Accepting the person as you are is love. Acting as you really like that person and then asking them to change their religion this is not love. This is really we can call, this is only known as jihad. If you really love somebody, see, we have seen many cases, especially in Karnataka, when you see, go to Mangalore and Chikmagalur and Udupi regions, coastal regions of this Karnataka, you see people, especially
Trapping.
girls, yes, especially girls are being trapped in the name of jihad.
I see.
So I think women have to, girls and parents, they should be aware of this kind of mafia which is going on behind them. And see, at one point in time, what people become is they become helpless. The girls become helpless. Their parents become helpless.
Okay, so really last message to the youngsters, wherein they are looking for a lucrative jobs, they are looking for a secured life, they are looking for a luxurious life. Having said so, they don't want to take a hardship or take a more sophisticated path to the success. As a young success, or I would not say you have achieved everything, but you are on that path. So what is that you want to share with them?
So I request youngsters, make sure that you upgrade your skills. First thing, skills are very much important. If you are ready with the skill sets, whichever you're comfortable with, it is not just with which you're comfortable with, but you should keep upgrading your skills and learn new skills. You don't know when opportunity comes and knocks your door. If you are ready, if you are skillful, then you can it was easy for you to get into any field, and especially, and this will definitely and ensure that you always think of the society, do for the betterment of the society, and work for the society.
Yeah, and ultimately empower yourself as well, and become a beautiful citizen rather than a successful person. Wonderful. Nice talking to you. I wish you all the best and many more forums and many more milestones in life. So take care of your health. Thank you very much. Nice talking to you. Dhanyawad.
Thank you so much, Ketki ji. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.